It means like we are here for 17 years. And either at the beginning of background was not about fashion. I was an architect, and Laura studied political science. From the beginning, when we arrived to Vietnam, we were start to be very interested about, especially about the traditional textiles of Vietnam and the silk production. And then we start to, from the beginning, a company who want to combine the Vietnam tradition about textiles with a kind of more global taste. No? From the beginning, Chula started with this idea, as well with the idea of use the fashion as an excuse of keep the traditions, the culture, and to be like another art. No, in some way, Chula was like a kind of cultural hub for many artists here in Vietnam, and not just in Vietnam. People who travel to Vietnam and wants to show their work. Chula was a kind of cultural hub. At the same time, when we start with Chula, one of the most important things for us was to have our own workshop. Then we created already 16 years ago our own workshop. And for us, it's very important all the process. No, it's a process that in the same building we have from the design to the production, and as well we sell in the same building. No, in some way we want to understand that the very important part of the sustainable of a fashion business is to control the process from the design to the production to who are your customers. No? And from the beginning, we want to create a social company. That means like we decided to start to train people with disability. That here in Vietnam there is a big problem with the people with disability. For a long time, they were very difficult to find job for them. And then we make a first training school, especially for hearing-impaired people, but as well people who has problems of mobility for the Agent Orange during the war. And then these people is now the majority of the company. They are more than 85% of the company is people who has some kind of disability, but they are fantastic team, and not just in the production, as well in the website, in the administration. Is a kind of another part of the company that for us is very important, how you produce the clothes and who is the person who made your clothes. No? And this person is I mean, it's not a outsourcing process. It's people who are in the payroll of the company, and they are part of this family that is Chula. Then I meet Wani like 3 years ago when we start to open a small boutique in Bangkok. That sadly we couldn't keep it. And I'm always super interested with all the projects that Wani offered to us, because always are fantastic. Then just when she rang me 2 days ago and said me, oh, there is this project, I say, okay, for sure, will be super interesting. And of course, I'm super happy as well. I know Rungsima for a long time, maybe as well 4 or 5 years. When I start to go to Bangkok, I start to meet her she was managing some of the beautiful projects there in Bangkok in the art district. And I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy we can collaborate in this project. I will be very happy.
Okay, thank you very much, Diego, for your participation. And now we're going to invite Rungsima. So I'm going to mute Diego.
Hello, can you hear me now? Oh, I cannot hear you now.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Hi.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, you're gone again. Okay. Okay, all right then. Hi, my name is Rungsima. Actually, I am an art curator, but I started out as an editor-in-chief for an international magazine called Our Decoration some 20 years ago. Then 5 years ago, I left the company and I started my own business because I had passion in sustainability and organic products ever since I was very young. So I about 2015, I left my post at Elle Decoration magazine, and I started my own business called Raw and Real. And so we cater to consumers who's interested to, let's say, introduce some clean products into their lifestyle. That's how we get started. And later on, that's also when I had a small shop in Creative District where you know, Diego just mentioned before that we met while he was doing his own fashion line in Bangkok. So I was a curator for a place called the Warehouse 30, which is no longer existing. But I also have my own shop called Raw and Real, catering to consumers who's interested in clean, organic, and natural products. And just before the COVID hit the world, I had a small shop called Raw and Real, the second one on Sukhumvit 31. And when I had a shop on Sukhumvit 31, I started another brand called Ray Curated, because that's it's my profession as an art curator. So I started another brand called Ray Curated, and it's the same concept, but Raw and Real is more consumer products, but the Ray Curated is like more like decorative items, art objects, or lifestyle products and furniture. So but as soon as COVID hit the world, I closed the shop on Sukhumvit 31 and start working on turning it online. The Raw and Real is already online right now, and we also right now we're working on developing Ray Curated online. So that's about it. So I'm on a quest.
Rungsima, thank you very much.
Most welcome.
And now we're going to welcome Maythavee.
I'm right here.
Okay. Thank you, Maythavee.
So I'm basically work here as like model, actress, and kind of like little bit here and there, front and back camera production whatsoever. Like kind of been going around the scene for like 10 years. So because when you kind of we bump into each other like at the charity event, so I have a lot of connection through like fashion designer, people that do branding and all that stuff. So in order for me to, I was really hoping that I could know more about the project, and then maybe I can reach out to some of my friends who might be interesting to participate and doing this fashion week together with you guys. So just gonna be here and hear you guys out and ask if there's any further question. I think that's it.
Maythavee, with you particularly, I'm also very interested to join the panel as a model because you know the industry, and you also are very much engaged in social causes like animal protection, you know, so we are trying to have anyone who is really socially conscious into this panel. So let us know what you think about that later on in the conversation.
Of course, sure, I will, definitely.
Okay, thank you, Maythavee. So now let's welcome Amy.
Hey. Hi. So when you just text me and about this, and then I'm a pianist, classical pianist, and I'm based in Bangkok. And for me, the closest thing that I'm close to fashion is my concert dress. Yeah, and then but it's very interesting what you guys are doing, and then design, and so we in the same kind of field, so we're all artists. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Amy. So now I'm going to invite Sandra to give us like an insight, specifics of this San Francisco Sustainable Fashion Week International. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If my image stops or whatever, my signal is a little bit weak, I need to call for support. But nevertheless, I'm very happy to be here with all of you, and especially Juanis, thank you so much for being so proactive to get this done and for us to meet one-on-one. This is a tremendous times that we are living in a way that even, you know, affected by the pandemic, we still find a way to be able to connect and share. So for me, San Francisco Sustainable Fashion Week started, it has been a journey. It started really when I'm the co-founder of Earth Day San Francisco Festival. And at that time, I really wanted a festival that unified cultures of the world for peace and sustainability. And I've been wanting that for a while, but you know, I didn't know how and why, or why am I going to do this, right? How am I going to do this? And so news, and I've been part of the board of different nonprofit organizations here in San Francisco. But I started as a volunteer for a film festival, a Latino film festival. Latino meaning from the Americas, you know, that's a word that I did not know back in Chile. I'm from Chile, but when I came to the United States in 1981, you know, I was just a Chilean woman with, you know, married and with an American from San Francisco that my high school friend introduced me to in Chile. So it goes way back, right? So I'm just saying that the journey has been one step at a time. And from the film festival, then it was so small. The second year, then we took it from one city to 17 cities around the San Francisco Bay Area. You know, the tremendous effort, because the films used to arrive by plane. Now we have all digital. So that's what I'm saying, such an amazing times we're living nowadays. Then I was part of the San Francisco Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I learned what were the needs of small business owners. I have no idea. I'm a dancer by training, classical ballet dancer. And I was just very much interested in supporting communities and supporting the educational aspect. So wherever I went, after that, I went to an organization called Carnival, and also part of the board of directors. People invited me, and you know, if I can contribute and helping the community to excel, and for youth to excel, for youth to have a future, and empowering them. So you will see me there. And at that organization, there was this man bringing, this is a Carnival, is a street festival, 250,000 people in 3 days. I mean, it's really, for San Francisco, that we are such a small city, it is a big deal. And so I asked him to, if he could help me to do my multicultural street festival, right? And so I said, I want organic this, and I want nonprofits, and I want the youth to have a voice, and have, you know, and I want to have all these people participating and being with us. And he said, what about Earth Day? There's nothing about Earth Day. It fits exactly what you're talking about. So there I go, okay, so let's do Earth Day. And that is, let me tell you that as a consumer, as a citizen, my learning curve started there. When someone brought the first fashion show, and fashion show with upcycling designers, and a fashion show also with high school students, that they put paper bags, plastic bags, straws, and did all of these beautiful garments, all made out of trash, right? People throw away the candy wrappers. People throw away the straws. We already know that that is a huge problem, but we're talking about 2010. And so, and I go, why in every single, let's call it trash fashion show, or no, that fashion show specifically with the high school students, with the all the items that people throw away, every single item, garment had the MC speaking about the environmental impact, the environmental impacts of plastic bags, the environmental impact of straws, and so on and so forth. It's like my antennas went up and I go, why is it that we don't have this conversation in the speaker tent with all of the speakers? And so that is how everything started. So, and that was in 2010. In 2013, we continue on 2011 to bring more designers. And I was, and actually I was in charge of bringing that aspect of Earth Day. Plus I did all of the administrative. I did all of the contracts with sponsors and delivering all of their benefits. I did the youth stage. I demanded that the youth is supposed to have a stage separate, that the main stage with everybody else, where the music and all of those, big organizations, they have the adults, and the youth. So it has been really a work of love since back then. And in 2013, I did the first sustainable fashion show. And then for 2014, someone said, okay, so we're going to start looking for the designers. I say, yes, but we're not having a fashion show. Let me tell you that back in 2010, when the woman brought in the designers in the high school, she asked me because I started iGreen Media Group as a company to promote these businesses, the small businesses. I knew that they needed support. No one was in 2010 supporting the green movement. No one was promoting green businesses, green fashion, or sustainable fashion. There was no word for sustainable fashion for all that I know. So to make this story short, with iGreen Media Group, she said, well, maybe we can get passes to go to New York Fashion Week. And I go, and what's there? Why are we going to go there? And she goes, well, it's the biggest in the United States, one of the biggest fashion weeks, bringing all of the designers. And I go, is that sustainable? She goes, no, I don't think, maybe one or two. I really didn't spark my own interest. So that is a little bit. So that is when I said, maybe we could have a sustainable fashion week here on the West Coast. And she goes, well, but that takes a lot. And I go, okay, but the seed was planted in 2010, right? So very much in love with promoting designers, promoting the industry, and promoting clean beauty, because it's very important for all of us to put something that is healthy on our skin. Healthy in our mouth and our eyes, or whatever. The makeup industry is so dirty. Fashion industry is so dirty. So what I need right now is that more people can come to the platform, for more people to listen to the message, and be more aware of the benefits of going for sustainable fashion and clean beauty. Not only the benefit on people's skin with textiles without the chemicals, or products without chemicals, but is the environmental justice aspect and the social and labor justice aspect. So I said, how can you be looking fabulous if there's so much misery at the beginning of everything? you know, the people on the fields and you know, planting the cotton, doing, you know, hemp and all of those fibers, we have to take care of those people. So it's the process all across the supply chain that we can really be proud of the